Hi there. My name is Joseph. I'm back again. You can't get rid of me. I'm going to talk about a painting today, Solar Wind. It's a 18 by 24 acrylic on canvas. And this is it. I guess what I'll start with is, as I mentioned in a video before, I'm into circles and sci-fi and things like that. And of course, here's my circles. And I wanted to create a picture of kind of a planetary type of photo, a painting of just of the stars and galaxies, and just a little kind of a, actually it's almost a little bit of an abstract kind of, because I mean all of this is out of my head, and none of it is, I don't use photographs or pictures, and I'm not saying I never do, because I have in the past. If I was going to, maybe I might use a photograph of a person and put in a portrait or something like that, but normally most of it comes out of my head. And so these, I guess you could call them solar geese, flying in space. I don't know if you're exactly flying, floating, but they're moving through space. And what is interesting is that here just recently they found microscopic small sea life on the windows of the space shuttle or space station, and wondering how they got there, and they were alive on the outside in the vacuum of space, living in the vacuum of space. So maybe the vacuum of space isn't quite the vacuum that is made out to be, but maybe for us it's a vacuum because we breathe oxygen and there's no oxygen there for us to breathe. But these little life forms on the outside windows of the space station were alive. So these are my solar geese. What makes them alive, I have no idea. Maybe they take energy from the sun or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And there is no atmosphere for them to flap wings, but they're soaring and moving through space. They were a moving thing. So that's why I call this painting Solar Wind. Because there is a solar wind. There is, the sun throws off different, there's winds coming from every direction, from all different galaxies, every place else. Even our Milky Way throws off energy wind. But our sun throws off quite a few solar blasts all the time, and so there's movement out there. Even if you can't see it, there's movement. And these geese are thriving off of the solar wind, and they're moving across. What planets these are, I have no idea, because they're a figment of my imagination. Somewhere out there in the galaxy, this planet exists. I know it does. You go far enough, you'll find it. It's out there. The same way with all of this. It's all out there. It's just a matter, just because I make it up out of my head, doesn't mean it's not out there, because there's such an diversity. Everything's out there.
Can you tell me a little bit about the stars?
Well, that's where I'm really stretching my imagination. These are the birth of stars, I guess you could say. The beginning of stars, a kind of gas clouds, and what's emerging out of the gas clouds is all these little particles of the beginning of stars. And of course, this is a large, major, I guess you could say it's a star-making. It's not a pulsar, but it's radiating all this energy, just and like I said, this is totally out of my imagination. It's kind of an abstract dream.
Can you tell me about the blue colors and the green and the red?
Well, there is a lot of blue energy in the universe. Blue is also something that draws you to possibly water, water vapor, gases, and water is a gas. It's just depending on the temperature and the pressures, and water can change from solids to gases to probably as strong as steel all under the right environment and elements. So, but the blue is kind of represents a watery, maybe a more life-giving as far as area. You know, maybe you might find more Earths off in a space like this as compared to off in here. You might find life. I'm not saying you wouldn't find life off in here, but you might find more of a compatible life off in the bluer area than this red hot area that's creating all this cloud of right through here. All these stars. These are gases, and all these stars are being created, and they're overflowing into the material world or realm. And it's all this, but see, these are the solid bodies of the universe here, planets, with the sun in the background. And up here is all the beginnings, all these elements overflowing into this realm. And
the geese, it looks like they're flying towards the stars. Is that true?
I kind of saw the geese more of kind of migrating from planet to planet, because these are solar geese. Geese migrate, and they're and in reality, these are probably not geese. Here I am. I'm over talking to her, and I'm not even on the camera. But anyway, these geese here are probably not even geese at all. They're not even birds. They just look like geese. That's why, but I call them geese because they have that shape. You know, if you see a car and you see a shape of a car out there, what do you call it? You call it a car. Well, this is geese, but as far as flesh and blood, I mean, I don't know what these geese could be made out of. Whatever they are made out of, they are able to live in a vacuum and live in this and live off the energy that is coming from them. And maybe they feed off of things that are on these planets. I don't really know, but they're just a living thing beyond our comprehension, really. So you imagine what they do, what they are, and roll with it. I mean, you know, they could be spaceships. They just don't. I could have put little windows along the bodies. I mean, imagination. They could be vehicles for carrying something else. Maybe they're carrying eggs.
Biological spaceships.
Yeah, and they're carrying eggs, and the eggs is more geese, maybe, a life or whatever. Biological spaceships. That could possibly be what they are. Well, that's it for today, and I hope I haven't bored you to death. And anyway, you take care, and I'll catch you guys later, and you have a good one. Bye-bye.